All right, candle lovers, today we're playing a little game, myths or facts, and this is gonna be all about candles. I'm gonna be sharing most common things that people say about candles, and you have to guess whether it is a myth or a fact. I want you to stick around though, because some of these will actually surprise you. Now, before we start, I wanna let you guys know that I have released both my candle making kit and candle making suppliers list, both available right now on serenearomas.com. So if you're new to candle making, make sure to get your hands on those before they sell out. Make sure to let me know how many you got right in the comments below so I can see which one of you guys are actually candle making experts. Number 1, freezing a candle makes it last longer. This is a myth. I want you guys to be aware of the fact that this started as a rumor just because people who make pillar candles typically freeze the molds that the candles are in so that the candle wax can harden, shrink, which makes it easier for them to remove the candle from the mold. But that doesn't mean that the candle wax itself will start burning slower when you light your candle. In fact, if you do freeze your candle, especially candles that come in containers, you may experience some issues when you light your candle. Your wax might shrink so much to the point where it cracks, your fragrance may not even smell the same, and it may be hard for you to light your candle. So avoid doing all of that, just light your candle normally. Soy wax burns slower than paraffin wax. This is a fact that I personally love about soy wax. Every single candle that you purchase that has soy wax will last a little bit longer compared to other waxes. This is simply because of the chemical makeup of the waxes. Each one has its own properties and each one burns different than the other. You cannot mix different type of waxes for candle making. This is a myth. If you go on the internet and you try to get candle making supplies from any different company out there, you'll see that they sell several different types of waxes. You may see coconut soy, soy paraffin, coconut apricot, and so many different other types of waxes out there. So it is perfectly fine for you to mix different blends together. The only thing that I want you to be aware of is that when you do that yourself at home, you may experience some issues just because you don't really know the different properties of all of these waxes that you're mixing together. If you buy it from a company that has all those blends together already for you, they will tell you exactly what you need to know about each and every single blend, from the melt point, the fragrance load, the pour temperature, and all the facts that you need to know about that wax so that you don't have to figure it out yourself. So yes, it is okay for you to mix different types of waxes together for your candle making, but I wouldn't personally recommend it. Wick size does not matter. This is a very serious myth. If you're gonna make any type of candles, just know that wick size matters tremendously. If you have a wick that is too big, your candle is gonna burn faster. You may experience a lot of soot. The fragrance may not smell the same. And if you have a candle wick that is too small, your candle will start tunneling. You're gonna have a lot of wasted wax and so many different issues. So definitely need to test out different types of wicks just so that you can find that perfect wick for each and every single candle that you're making. Wicks should be trimmed before every burn. This is a fact that us candle makers recommend to each and every single candle lover out there. You're going to receive these instructions for each and every single candle that you purchase, and this is gonna be very important because it's going to help your candles last longer, help it smell better, and prevent the release of so much soot because of the carbon buildup around the candle wick. So you definitely need to trim your candle wicks each and every single time you're about to light your candles. A wick that is too small will cause candle tunneling. As I mentioned before, the wick size matters tremendously when you're making your candles, and having a wick that is too small is going to cause your candle to tunnel because the flame that is created from the candle wick is not going to be strong enough for it to melt the wax that's around the candle jar. A wick that is too large will cause excessive soot. This is a fact. If there are issues with a candle wick that is too small, of course there will be issues with a candle wick that is too big. If you have a candle wick that is too big for the jar that you have, the candle flame from that wick will be so large to the point that you will see a lot of smoke coming off from the top. That is what we call soot that typically stains your candle jars when you're burning them. The bigger the flame, the faster the burn. This is a fact. With a candle flame, what I want you to understand is that the bigger the flame, the more more heat that is being released from that flame. The more heat that is being released, the higher the temperature and the faster the wax will melt. So that means your candle will burn so fast to the point where the candle will not last as long as the company would tell you. The more fragrance oil, the stronger the scent. This is a myth. This can be very confusing for somebody who's new to candle making, because typically if you add more to anything, then that means you're getting more effect. That's not the case when it comes to candle making. Each and every single wax that you buy from a company will tell you the amount of fragrance load that should go inside the wax. You'll see anywhere from 6% up to 12%, and that means that this is the amount of fragrance that should be added onto the wax net weight. If you do use more, you see some issues like the wick suffocating to the point where it cannot stay lit. You may also experience what's called candle sweating, where the wax and the fragrance did not mix to the point where the fragrance is rising to the top of the wax. So experiment and see what works best for you within that 6 to 12% of fragrance load. Glass candle jars can explode. Fact. This is something that a lot of people who are starting to make candles may experience because they may get the wrong glass. If you want to learn about what a proper candle jar is, then definitely check out my video on that. I'll link for you below. But typically you have specific type of glass that you can use for candles, and if you don't use those, you'll find that your candle jar may explode. In some instances, if you don't have the wick centered, you may see that the candle jar explodes as well, just because the heat from the flame was touching the actual candle jar and overheating it. So you definitely have to be careful about the selection that you're making for your candle jars, just because all of those things can cause a major fire hazard. You can reuse candle wax by melting it again. This is a fact. I also have a video where I have recycled my old candle waxes and made brand new candles from that wax. If you want to check that out, I'll link it down for you below as well. But yes, you can definitely reuse old candle wax by melting it again. If you're doing that at home, I don't recommend that you make that for a candle that you're selling, just because mixing different types of waxes and different fragrances may cause different scents and all types of issues. So if you are recycling old candle wax, I definitely recommend doing that just for you rather than for you to sell to somebody else. You can use any type of string as a candle wick. This is a myth. A candle wick specifically uses natural fibers like cotton or linen. If you're trying to use things like nylon or anything else that's synthetic, you may see that the candle wick that you've created is melting, or in some cases releasing a really bad odor. This is because not any type of wick can be used for candle making. You can purchase some cotton wicks, wooden wicks, or hemp wicks. Those burn cleaner, they're absorbent, which means that they're specifically for candle making, and they burn slower. So don't go around just putting anything in your candle. Wick material affects the burn performance. This is a fact. Like I mentioned, we have cotton, wooden, and hemp wicks that can be used for candle making, and they all burn very differently from each other. If you have a wooden wick and you compare it to a cotton wick, you may see that the wooden wick lasts longer than the cotton. But you may also notice that the wooden wick experiences more mushrooming compared to the cotton wick. So you may also notice that a wig that is braided lasts longer than a wig that is not. So each and every single wig that you purchase is going to act very different for the candle that you're making. Candle tunneling can be fixed by burning the candle longer. This is yes and no, and let me explain. So if you're burning a candle for the first time and you happen to have to blow it out before the 2-hour time frame where it melts completely on the top layer, you definitely will be able to fix it by burning a little bit longer the next burn. But if you have a candle that is burned completely down the center with a bunch of wax around it and you're trying to recover it by burning it longer, you will not be able to recover that, simply because the candle flame that is being created from that candle wick is not going to be strong enough to melt all of that wax all at once without extinguishing itself. Once the first layer of that wax starts melting, you'll notice that the candle wick is being suffocated by all the extra wax that's around it. Because of that, I'm saying no, you will not be able to recover a candle that's tunneled straight down the middle for so long. Perfumes can be used for candle making. This is a myth. What I want you to know is that each and every single thing that you add into your candle is going to affect it differently. And if you add perfume to your candle, candle that has a completely different chemical makeup than a fragrance oil, you may not be able to smell it, and the higher temperature of the candle flame itself may ruin the fragrance altogether. So for you to be extra safe, I recommend just sticking to using fragrance oils or essential oils for your candles. Fragrance oils can expire. This is a fact. Most fragrance oils have a shelf life of 2 years and maybe a little bit higher depending on the company. But the shelf life can be extended a little if you follow the proper instructions. You're gonna have to store them in a cool, dry, and dark place away from high temperatures, and most importantly, away from your bathroom, because it's typically very humid, which doesn't help the fragrance last long at all. If you have a fragrance oil that you don't know whether it is expired or not, you're gonna have to look for things like a different scent, a different color, and maybe look at the bottom of the container to see if the different chemical makeup of the fragrance oil has separated from each other. These are gonna be very serious indication that your fragrance oil is expired. All essential oils can be used in candle making. This is a myth. Fragrance oils and essential oils are completely different from each other. Essential oils are cold pressed oils derived from plants, but a lot of these oils have very low flash points, meaning the temperature where the fragrance completely burns off and you're not able to smell it. So because of that, a lot of essential oils are not safe to use in candle making at all. And sometimes when you mix it in with your melted wax, right then and there, the fragrance could burn off. They're that sensitive to higher temperatures. It's okay to leave candles burning overnight. This is a myth. Whenever you're burning a candle, this is a potential fire hazard. This is why we instruct people to burn their candles away from drafts or anything in general that can catch on fire. You're also supposed to monitor your candles when they're burning, just so you can be aware of what is going on. But if you do light a candle and you're sleeping, then that means you cannot monitor it. On top of that, I want you to be aware that when the candle reaches the bottom of the glass jar, it may explode because the temperature is so high. If you want to light a candle before you go to bed, what I recommend is that you light the candle at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, just so that the scent can spread throughout the room and be able to provide you with the soothing environment that you're looking for. But don't go to sleep with a candle lit. Safety first. Multiple candle wicks are just for show. This is a myth. Remember at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that the wick size matters? Well, in this case, having 2, 3, or even 4 wicks within one candle means that this is the amount of wick that will help the candle melt and burn properly. If the person who made the candle tested the wicks out beforehand. If I had a big size candle and I put 1 wick inside of it, what's most likely going to happen is the candle tunneling, where the candle wick is going to burn straight down the middle as opposed to melting that full candle. So no, the multiple wicks that you see in a candle does not mean it is for show. And last is, you can add fragrance oils at any point during the candle making process. This is a myth. Your fragrance oils need to be added to your candle wax at a specific temperature so that the wax and the fragrance combine properly with each other. What that temperature is varies for each and every single wax and fragrance oil, but what I typically recommend is that you add your fragrance oil into your wax around 180 to 185 degrees so that you can be in that perfect temperature where the candle wax is not too hot to burn off the fragrance oil, but not too low to the point where the fragrance oil is not gonna bind with the wax. And that is it for today's candle myths or facts challenge. How many did you get right? I'm curious, so let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned for another myths or facts challenge where I bust down all the myths that have been said about candle making. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. And until next time, thank you for watching. Bye.